Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about how our crumbling roads and unsafe highways could be costing our city and state government millions of dollars in lawsuits. We're also going to check in on how the Multnomah County's $4 billion budget shook out after an all-night session of cuts. Plus, Travel Oregon gets a new executive director and why that's such a big deal for our state's economy. Joining me today are Willamette Week reporter and author Brianna Wheeler and KBOO news director Althea Billings. Thanks for being here, you guys. How's it going?
Beautiful. Good morning.
Hey, Claudia.
Hey, Althea.
Hey.
Hey.
Just get some greetings out of the way.
Oh, man. I usually start things off by asking an opening question so our listeners can get to know our guests a little better. And today's is actually based on some reporting by the Oregonian on what appears to be, you guys, the largest settlement in city history related to our crappy streets. So Jillian Conroy, a Portland woman, will receive $3.6 million for the life-altering brain injury that she suffered back in 2022 when she ran into a 6-inch deep by 2-foot wide pothole along Southwest Capitol Highway, which is just south of I-5. The lawsuit stated that in addition to her traumatic brain injury, she also suffered tinnitus, a torn rotator cuff, and many cuts, scrapes, and bruises. And guys, she was wearing a seatbelt, so that must have been like some pothole.
Right.
And check this out. She originally sued the city, and Portland, in turn, filed suit against internet provider Astound Broadband and Timber State Drilling and Construction because they cut into the roadway to access underground cables and then filled it with a sloppy asphalt patch that crumbled away in less than a month, causing that pothole. So technically, the city of Portland is paying Jillian with the money they're getting from their lawsuit because they were actually able to prove that this particular pothole actually wasn't caused by lack of street maintenance, which we just all assumed it would be. That happens to be one of the biggest gripes of Portlanders is how many potholes there are. And there are a lot more compelling details in the Oregonian article, which we're going to link on our show notes. But this leads me to my question to the both of you. What is your biggest gripe when it comes to Portland streets and roads? I mean, aside from potholes.
May I?
Please.
This has been making my blood boil for the entire 20 years that I've lived here. Light the freaking bike lanes. Light the bike lanes. I moved to this city because I'm so horny for my bike. I want to ride it all the time. But you are making it so hard for me.
Yeah.
Big gripe. My big gripe.
Yeah. Can I give you the double whammy of like having poorly lit streets, which I completely agree with, Brianna, is that you can't see the potholes.
I'm saying
Oh, what about you, Althea?
I'm getting more fired up because I even forgot about that. You ever drive around Northwest in the neighborhood and it's like there's no light, it's dark as hell, people running out into the street. Oh, light pollution. I want to not hit people with the car. I want to not get hit by the car.
Same.
It doesn't seem like too much to ask. I mean, I think I griped the other week on here about the lack of turn signal usage. I'm seeing an uptick in that, so that's not what I'm going to highlight here.
Because it's not road related. Yeah.
No. Our highways are designed so badly that it really makes me mad, even down to the little things. Like, I should not have to suddenly merge across 2 lanes of traffic coming from a different highway to get to my exit. Like, it's not like that in other cities, man. It is dangerous. And I'm used to, careening across 2 lanes. Not careening. Anybody who looks at my license plate, they're going to get me. But having to cross that much traffic on like exit 300, I'm just trying to get over to 84, why is it like this? And the merging and the splitting? And you got one blinking light. You think that's enough for people? It's not.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking about Portland city streets. You're talking about state highways. Which would be
we're getting that pedantic, huh?
Oh, well, I'm just saying. But I actually want to, kind of jump on that because have you driven on Highway 26 after dark? Like, it's the highway that you take to go to Cannon Beach, which, by the way, not only are the potholes an issue, and like we're talking city and state maintained highways and streets, but there's potholes. Not only that, there's no medians. It's just like this little stripe that is like half off because it's been rained on so much. So when the no light hits it, You can't see what side of the road you're on. And so I don't know if you guys know this, but many people have successfully sued the state because of like head-on collisions, because they're just like, hey, nobody can see what side they're on. You also don't have medians. This is a terrible designed highway. You've had many years to figure something out. You haven't done it. So I was looking this up, and the family of Michelle Mousson, who was a 59-year-old woman, she died, unfortunately, on Highway 26. Her car, of course, was hit on by an oncoming driver. That's what happens. And they're suing ODOT for $111 million. Not only for her death, but for the surviving family members' medical bills, because everyone ended up with life-changing injuries. In the lawsuit, because they researched, they stated that from 2020 to 2024, just 4 years, there were 22 crashes in that 2-mile section of roadway that they had their crash on. And back in 2015, the state paid Amanda Fritz, who was then a Portland City Commissioner, a $1.45 million settlement after her husband died when a pickup truck traveling on the opposite direction on the I-5 crossed this grassy median and slammed into his car. So this is a thing, and it's almost like $111 million. What if they just started putting medians? Like all this money, like what if they actually made the roads safer? I don't know. And like the thing is, I get it. It's like so much money, but if they're able to do this simple research and go, hey, this strip of highway is the most dangerous, maybe start there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a problem that has no solution. I will say, recently I looked up how expensive reflective road paint is and like the little like tile things, because I'm sick of it. I'll take matters into my own hands.
Right. You're like, I'll put them in.
How hard could it be?
Oh my God. How expensive were they?
They were a little bit more expensive than I was excited about.
I kind of get
I'm like, and like road adhesive epoxy is also up there,
Yeah, who would have known? It costs so much money. Yeah, it's awful though, because it just seems like the way that people are getting their bills and stuff paid for is they're getting sued. And who's paying? Like, we're paying for it. It's taxpayers, So I don't know. I just wish that the money that was being managed on maintenance and upkeep of our roads wasn't so much. We'll just pay for it when something bad happens, because that's what it appears is the road we're on. I didn't even mean to do that, and I did, and I'm so sorry, everybody. Yeah. Well, thank you both for your answers. Let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, Multnomah County had their turn at an all-night budget cut session. So we're going to see what we're left with.
A serious injury, catastrophic crash, or wrongful death can change your life in an instant. The legal path forward can be daunting, especially when the responsible party is a powerful entity. That's why having experienced advocates on your side makes all the difference. At Diamore Law Group, you're not just a number. You're someone with a team of attorneys committed to securing you full justice and working to ensure a safer Oregon for all. Led by veteran attorney Tom Diamore, the firm has spent more than 30 years standing up to corporations, negligent drivers, and corrupt organizations, conducting thorough investigations, working with leading experts, and taking cases all the way through trial, all at no cost unless they win. Contact Diamore Law Group at 503-222-6333 or visit diamorelaw.com for a free consultation. The cases that matter the most are the hardest to win, and that's exactly why they take them.
All right, Althea, you looked into what's going on at the county with the upcoming $4 billion budget. $4 billion sounds like so much money, but I'm hearing it's not enough.
I'm hearing it's less money than they had before. Rats.
Yeah.
I was calling this a Multnomah County all-nighter, but not quite as fun as an all-nighter might be. And also, like most Portland functions, it ended shortly after midnight. This was on Friday. They did have a marathon session to try to get this done. So like you said, a $4 billion budget passed 4-1. That lone no vote was Commissioner Julia Brim-Edwards. Put a pin in it. She's running for county chair. The county was looking at an $11 million general fund deficit, $67 million, also a gap in the homeless services budget. So there was a lot of cuts to be made across the board. Every department had to make cuts. And this meeting was making those adjustments to what Jessica Vega Peterson, the current county chair, put forward in her budget of here's what we're funding, here's what we're cutting, here's how this is all going to work out. What's shaking out is there's going to be 158 people laid off from the county, which is a lot.
Do we know what department?
They're from a bunch of different departments.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's layoffs of 158 full-time equivalent. So that may end up being more or less people. Some of that includes cutting vacant positions. And it could also be cutting a couple part-time people to be equivalent to that like 40-hour threshold or whatever. Sort of the next step out of this is figuring out where those cuts, how it's actually going to shake out over the next fiscal year. But in this big marathon budget meeting, there were 39 amendments passed. These are smaller adjustments that commissioners come together to try to make. So bringing back enrichment activities for the animal shelter, some eviction prevention money, reducing permitting barriers for Preschool for All. Let me mention as well, I'm relying on reporting here from Austin de Dios at The Oregonian, who did a great, very comprehensive article about this. There's also money set aside for a memorial for the Chinese section of the Lone Fir Cemetery. There's money for child abuse prevention. Like there's a lot of, smaller things that were moved around. But overall, this is a cuts budget, and likely going forward will be further iterations of a cuts budget. Some interesting things to come out of this. District Attorney Nathan Vasquez had been campaigning, I guess you could say, to not have to take any cuts. The attitude was, I've been doing a really good job. Everybody in my office works really hard, and I'm kind of a special boy who shouldn't have to take any cuts.
Sorry.
It was a little bit of that attitude because he was there all night, and then he did a press conference and he's like, Shannon Singleton, all of these people, they want to fund their pet projects. Great. And he did get some money back. They passed amendments to give him 4 of his positions back. Not to say that the DA's office doesn't do important stuff. It definitely does. But there's a spirit, everybody at the county is like, yeah, we're making a lot of tough choices. Nobody is happy to make a cuts budget. We're trying to make the best of a bad situation. And he's trying to get a narrative out there early, I guess you could say. One of the big unanswered questions here is what is going to happen to pretrial monitoring in the program in the sheriff's office. That was in the end of this article and something that is still sort of to be determined. There's 2 different pretrial monitoring programs, and the one through the sheriff's office lost funding. And like July 1st, it's going to end because there's no money. And there was a big scramble to try to figure out how can we continue to fund this? What's that going to look like? It wasn't like a totally last minute thing. They knew this was on the chopping block and could not kind of come to an understanding of where this money was going to come from, what exactly they would still be able to provide. It's not ending pretrial services entirely, like the lower level one that the county itself runs also took cuts, but is still existing. So at the last minute, commissioners set aside some of this money, but have not necessarily figured out what that's going to look like going forward.
What exactly entail pretrial services?
Yeah, so the pretrial monitoring that the county does has to do with that time between when you get arrested and when you actually stand trial. So it's not the case that everybody is in jail for all of that amount of time. And interestingly, in 2022, there was a statewide reform of this where it used to be, they set bail and kind of regardless of your offense, if you had the dough, you could get out. And they changed that in 2022 to have this risk assessment. So, if you're considered a flight risk or your crime was really serious or you have a history of it, you're probably not going to get out on pretrial release. But for folks who don't meet those criteria, they expanded pretrial monitoring to allow people to continue to have a job, get involved in services, which is part of what the county program was really for.
Gotcha. To connect people to services. Gotcha. Okay,
connecting people to services, making sure you keep your job, and checking in with the court to make sure that you're going to show up for your court date. That's mainly what it's for. And so They lost a lot of money for the people to be doing those check-ins. Sometimes it's home visits, sometimes it's calls. But yeah, it's like an important program. There was a CUNY study in 2023 that found that most individuals who were released on pretrial status were not rebooked in jail. So it is
That's
something
really cool.
that kind of allows people to stay together. And of course, we're also in a situation where you're innocent until proven guilty, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I do want to just quickly state, just a quick refresher that the county, what they do is basically they affect some of the biggest issues that Portland is facing. So they are our homeless services. They are like the drug and rehab services. They are the health, like county clinics. They basically are all human services. City is like the streets. City is how things run, not even transportation, but like just literally the streets and like utilities and stuff like that. The fact that this city has started doing homeless services just shows how much of a problem that was and like how hard it was for the county to manage, that the city was like, well, freaking we'll do it. That's another conversation there. So any cuts to the county is like a kind of a big deal because we're like, okay, but what does this mean? And I just quickly also want to say, you told us to pin Julia Brim Edwards. Like, can we go back and unpin that? Like, tell me why.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We
that
should
was a
unpin
thing.
that. We should unpin that for sure. So it's interesting to talk about the two commissioners who are running for the role of county chair. One of them, Julia Brim Edwards. The other one, Shannon Singleton, who voted for the budget. Brim Edwards voted against. Her statement here I can read for you, quote, "This budget is a missed opportunity for course correction on our biggest challenges, including reducing homelessness, improving access to mental health and addiction services, safer neighborhoods, and to kickstart our economy." That said, she did get a lot of amendments through to sort of piecemeal some of these things back together. And I wonder how that will shape the race in the fall between Brim Edwards and Singleton when we're sort of looking at like a 5% cut kind of across the board of county services.
Do you guys remember former Multnomah County Commissioner Sharon Mearin?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So for those who are new to the county, former County Commissioner Sharon Mearin, she is a doctor. She's an ER doctor. And for some reason, she was also on the board. And the reason I say for some reason is because she had so much knowledge and was so data-driven that she was driven crazy by the
They broke her.
They broke her. And the thing is that, like, in the county's defense, she was driven so insane and batty by, like, how the county ran that during these meetings, she came off pretty abrasive because to her, it was life and death. It wasn't a bureaucratic position. And a lot of these people who work in the county, they're bureaucrats. They've never had to have a patient load of like 40 people a day where they have only 15 minutes to see someone who possibly doesn't speak the language. And then you have to wait 15 minutes for an interpreter. And then the time is up and now you're working till 10 p.m. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that knowledge. She did. And so when they would talk these, like we got all this money and now we have no way of keeping track of it, it would break her brain. So she left. She had run for chair. JVP Jessica Vega Peterson ended up getting it. They were always, butting heads. But, whenever there's an argument or any kind of like aggression, whoever is the loudest tends to look like the bad guy. It's just true. You're just like, whatever. Most people who like reported on it could always see the truth of like what was being said. And it's like, well, she makes sense a lot of the time. It's just that she's yelling. And so it's Portland. We're just like, oh my God, why are you yelling? But I just wanted to bring up that she started, it's called fix-multco.com. It's a website. She started this whole movement where she's essentially saying, basically like, hey, the county is broken. I've been in the belly of the beast. I'm still an ER doctor. Here's what I'm going to do. So check this out. As an ER doctor and former county commissioner, I've seen the system from the inside and the front lines. I've worked with local experts, community leaders, and those impacted by county services. Guided by their wisdom in incorporating successful practices from across the country, I wrote a comprehensive plan to turn the county around. The principles are simple. Organize for impact. Measure what matters. Budget for results. account for every dollar. And that was the thing that always came up. She was just like, show me the money. Where is that money going? How is that money doing? And those were the arguments that they would have. But anyhow, if you're curious about her plan, she's like really pushing it. She has a full plan leading with homeless services, behavioral health plan. She has a current org chart plus a future org chart of like how things should be organized.
Damn.
Like this woman has thought about this so deep and so hard that I'm like, I'm going to jump in because I'm so curious. And again, if you're listening, you're just like, that woman was a nut job or whatever. I just think maybe we should start listening where we're going with how things are. I can just tell you, just because I've had a lot of experience with people who've worked at the county, almost no one who works at the county is thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? No one is like, hey, this is going great. Everyone's just like, we got to leave. We got to find another job. And that is
They're
messed
looking for
up.
job openings at the ER. They're like, I need a lower stress position. Is anybody hiring at like an emergency room or trauma center?
Jesus Christ. It's true. So hopefully this budget leads us somewhere better, but I don't know, man. I'm going to link to fix-molco.com. Join me in going down this rabbit hole. I'm like excited to read what is going on here. I'm also curious, like people from the county, if you're just like, what are you guys talking about? Tell me about what you think about her plan. I want to hear about it, But Althea, thank you for looking into that. Let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, Brianna is going to tell us why it matters that Travel Oregon has a new executive director. Okay, Brianna, I know I haven't really thought about the executive director of Travel Oregon since there was like a big hullabaloo. Wasn't there just like some sort of
Oh, yes.
controversial thing? Yeah.
I love mess. I love drama.
So what's going on?
We're going to just keep rolling with these money conversations. I am bringing some, like, over a year's worth of reporting by James Neff over at Oregon Journalism Project, all about Travel Oregon, right? So Travel Oregon has named a new executive director, Kate Sinner. All right, why is this news? This is an incredibly important job at a historically tough time. Tourism generates approximately $14 billion worth of economic activity. It supports 120,000 or some odd jobs in Oregon. But travel is down. Travel is down bad. Domestic travel in the state is down bad because of gas prices, because of X, Y, and Z tariffs, et cetera. Right. But why? Why is this news? Why is this new executive director news? I'm going to tell you why. Because a year ago, the homeboy who ran Travel Oregon for decades, I think like 3 decades, 4 decades, his name was Todd Davidson. This fellow had a base salary of $365,000.
Damn.
I'm saying his total compensation reached just short of $500,000 in 2024. Now, I know, everybody do your whistles, do your gasps, do your spit takes, because did we not just have a very long conversation about budget cuts? And meanwhile, Travel Oregon over here floating on air with an executive director getting paid $500,000 a year. Why? How? Well, OJP published a vast and just rigorous investigation into this agency. Now, not only were they really hard pressed to justify $500,000 in compensation, they also detailed a toxic workplace, loose oversight, and delayed millions in grants. 9 million in grants that were supposed to go to small businesses. Grasp your pearls. Grasp them for dear life. For years, Travel Oregon operated with little to no oversight. They have this budget, right? They have a $45 million budget. Why does Travel Oregon have a $45 million budget when all of these other agencies are scrambling and struggling? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because their funding comes directly from a lodging tax that was established in the early aughts that takes it's a 1.5% tax on every single hotel bill in the state. The state, every hotel bill in the state. This is massive. This was approved 2 decades ago and then ignored. Nobody paid attention to it after that. So the budget just grows and grows and grows and grows. Benefits from inflation, inflation, inflation. And Mr. Davidson, he's just like riding on that wave. And there's no oversight. So as we are kind of unpacking this late night budgeting session, it really calls to mind these larger symptoms, these bigger problems, and how Oregon really is like keeping track of their money, following it, keeping everybody accountable. Are they? I don't think so. But okay, things are changing. Things are changing. Okay. OJP publishes their this kind of expose. And before it even publishes, Mr. Davidson, he resigns his post, he retires.
Why did he do that?
Oh, I wonder. Right. So everybody knows now. Everybody knows and everybody's pissed. How could this have possibly happened? How did we let this go unchecked for so long? Also, how did we let this fool just get away with it? Just leave before we were able to hold him accountable for anything. Meanwhile, hi, I'm the pandemic. I have choked tourism to a trickle.
Right.
I have slashed Travel Oregon's revenue because the lodging tax, what the fuck does it mean if nobody's coming here because we're all stuck in our houses? Mid-2020, all of the top executives and all of the bureaus agree to salary cuts, Davidson included. He takes a 25% hit. 2023 comes along, travel resumes. And Travel Oregon's board awards Davidson with $100,000 to compensate him for the one-time salary reduction 3 years earlier during the pandemic. I want to do violence, like not literally, but like I want to do spiritual violence about this.
That didn't happen to you guys in the pandemic? I thought that happened to everybody.
Oh my God.
We all got paid back, I thought.
I only got $70,000. This guy got $100,000. What even is this conversation?
How is this even? It doesn't. I'm like, how is this legal?
How? Right? Like just no oversight. So there's an audit. There's an audit of Travel Oregon in 2020. News outlets across the state, they're going off. I mean, it's news. It's like big, bad news that this happened. We look bad. Our travel spending is nonsensical. It's behind Hawaii, California, and New York. Essentially, we did get some reform out of that. A little bit too late, unfortunately, as is our style. But the reform that passed, I think, in 2021, it calls for state agency leaders. It limits their salary to $250,000, which is still a lot of money. Oh my gosh, that's a fantastic take-home pay. But
I also just want to pause because, just quick, from my knowledge, Travel Oregon is funded solely by lodging tax. Is that correct?
Yes, that is where all of their funding comes from.
Right. So that means that tax brings in a lot of money. If like they have that much money to just squander. And imagine if there was actual like government, just, I don't know, just oversight.
You're talking crazy. You're talking crazy, Claudia. I don't know what you're about to say.
Oh, no. What am I?
Get Sharon Mirren on the phone. Get Sharon dropping the chat.
Oversight of taxes and spending?
Oversight on public funding. Because like to me, I'm just
You're
like,
dreaming.
It seems like we could be funding a lot more than just basically a marketing company.
They did. They produced some beautifully glossy brochures for us.
Right.
They awarded Wyden Kennedy, I don't know, like a $9 million contract to make a puppet commercial, which was very cute and we love. But why are we like encouraging Oregonians to visit Oregon? The math ain't mathing at all. But anyway, the outcome is that we have now a Travel Oregon leader. I love that this is a bureau and is getting so much traction. Like, this is so messy and so drama. I love it. I hate it, but I love it. But I love more that we come out of the other side with this salary cap so that this kind of bullshittery doesn't happen again, at least for the time being. I mean, TikTok, somebody's going to find a way.
At least with salaries, yeah. Oh, man. And this person who's coming in, what's their name?
Kate Sinner. Fabulous. We love, we support. Pew, 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 pew. Give her flowers. She's the director at Business Oregon. And her entire career has been dedicated to Oregon. She was a legislative staffer for Kitsaber and Brown. And then she spent I think a couple decades as a lobbyist. Like she is down to clown. She's down for these streets. She's down for the state. So I'm not to take away from Mr. Davidson. I don't know how hard he went for this state, but her pedigree just seems, but also she's coming in with the knowledge that we are watching her and we are watching her bureau. That's not her fault, but I mean, do with that what you will.
Yeah.
Sharon Mirren.
What are you talking about?
In the OJP reporting about sort of the runaway take-home pay of the prior ED, there's this chart I was seeing there
the chart
that shows the executive pay compared to how many people they oversee or how many people are in the department. And not only was the Travel Oregon ED the highest out of all of those, making
my God,
a lot more than the governor, which I don't know that the governor should be them, but only overseeing 73 people, and there's 10,000 employees of the health authority, and they make half as much.
Totally.
wild.
I know that chart is like, it'll choke you out a little bit to look at it.
No, I was picking my jaw up off the floor when I was looking at it.
The whole time we should have been trying to run Travel Oregon.
But the thing is, I know we're like, oh, whatever, but like, as Brianna was kind of touching on it, it's not like it's not an important thing. We need people to come to Oregon. How much money does it bring in?
It is an important role. Tourism generates $14 billion of economic activity annually.
I'm just saying, it's kind of important, you know? So it's not just like, oh, whatever, little agency. It's like, no, it should be run well. And it should be run within budget. And we should probably find out where that money is going. And if they have too much money, if they're getting too much money, maybe we use the lodging tax for other things. Lodging, maybe the roads, I don't know.
Right. Small business assistance, like millions of this was supposed to go to small businesses to promote small, like help them out. And to think that just those businesses languished, and probably quite a few of them went under because this fool over here was just like, I don't know, laying on a pile of money and couldn't be bothered.
Just doing that Scrooge McDuck.
Flying first class to wherever.
Diving.
Everywhere.
Diving.
Globally.
Yeah.
Global.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to end this on a positive note because here's what I'm seeing, guys, is I'm seeing new beginnings and possibilities. One, I'm seeing there's a new ED.
Beautiful.
Things are changing there, right? The county has a budget. Like it or not, there's a plan in place. And if you don't like it, look at fix-multco.com, see what Sharon Mirren has decided the county needs to do.
Did she buy an ad? What's happening?
Is Sharon paying you?
Yeah.
No, I'm just so... Do you understand when someone's like, listen, I have plotted it all out. Like, I'm like, there's an org chart? Like, girl, I want to see this. What if I just showed up, Brianna, to your life and I was like, Brianna, you're doing it all wrong.
Here's an org
Let me
chart.
tell you what you're doing Monday through Friday. Wouldn't you be just a little curious? Like, you just, for one, you'd be like, you're insane. Get a job for me, you know, because like, why would it? But at the same time, you would be like, oh, can I see the org chart? Can I see
low key, I'd be like, show me.
Show me my budget. That's where I'm at. I'm just like, what is happening? I want to see this so bad. All right. So more on that later. But you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Brianna, Althea, appreciate you both. I guess until we meet again next week.
Follow the money.
All the money?
Follow the money. That's my slogan. That's how I always sign off the show.
Oh, is it? Okay, great.
Yeah. Fans know. This is the first time I've said it.
This has never been said before. Thanks, you guys. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend, rate it, leave us a review, and don't forget, you can support the show and get awesome perks by becoming a CityCast Portland neighbor. Just visit membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.